Would you like to know how to get the most out of the trigger on your airbrush? I'm Warwick from Harder and Steenbeck, and I'm here with our need-to-know basics. Stay until the end of the video where I'll give you a really fun tip of how to do something cool with your trigger. Most airbrushes that we have today have what we call a double action trigger. This means that there are two motions on the trigger, up and down and back and forth. The up and down motion is what controls the air pressure. When you push down, the air turns on. When you let it off, the air stops. The back and forward motion on the trigger controls your needle, which is your paint control. As you progressively pull that back, you progressively open up the paint nozzle on the airbrush, allowing more and more paint to flow the more you pull the trigger back. A general rule of thumb is that when you're very close to the subject that you're painting, you'll tend to pull the trigger back only a very small amount to give a small amount of paint flowing out the front of the airbrush. When you're further away and you're trying to cover a larger area, you'll tend to pull the trigger back to a greater degree to allow more paint to flow. One of the really important things about how you use the trigger if you want to get clean finishes is the order that you do these motions. So generally speaking, you want to really get into the habit of pushing down first to start the air, then pulling the trigger back to start the paint flow, then pushing the trigger forward to stop the paint, and only then do you let the trigger up and shut off the air. Now the reason for that is if you pull it back and then just let it go, what will tend to happen is the airflow will stop fractionally before the paint flow. And that'll mean that you'll have a drop of paint that sits on the tip of your needle, and the next time you press down on the trigger, that little drop of paint will fly off unatomized and land on your workpiece, making it a bad day. Unless that's what you want, and that's what the tip is. If you want to make a really big spatter, which for example might be a blood spatter or a mud spatter on the subject that you're painting, a really good way of achieving that is by basically pulling the trigger back, letting it go so that it just springs back forward, and then giving a tap on the air valve to blow that little paint drop off onto what you're painting. And it gives a really varied, pretty heavy shape of spatter onto whatever it is that you're trying to paint. Stay with us for other videos about how to get the most out of your airbrushing.